Hey everybody, welcome to the Dad Challenge Podcast. My name is Josh. Today we're talking about Colleen Ballinger, the canceled one of all the cancellations. This woman did some heinous garbage, was canceled for it, rightly so, and is still being platformed on pretty major platforms actually, pretty major podcasts, to try to get her message out there. Just go away, Colleen. You don't even go here anymore. Let's talk about it. So Colleen Ballinger, if you don't know anything about Colleen Ballinger, she is Miranda Sings, which is a character for children, which is a super weird, it's like a crossover for children and adults and things like that. She did some pretty raunchy stuff, especially with kids on stage. She sent lingerie to an underage fan. She's severely inappropriate. She's developmentally arrested as a teenager, obviously. There's no way you could be this type of person without it. She's got some really weird psychopathic tendencies, and she finally got called out for it, and then everything started coming out about her and all the private text messages and the private groups and the weaponizing fans against other fans and everything else, and becoming just like, and then she did this apology where she sat down with a ukulele and literally destroyed her entire career. It wasn't everybody's cancellation. It was the ukulele apology, which wasn't really an apology. This woman is absolutely bananas. Okay, she's sardines and bananas together on a pizza. Okay, with pineapple. She's disgusting. At one point, Miranda Sings, Colleen Ballinger was pulling in literally millions and millions of dollars a month. She was doing a high-end tour, which was sold out. Just the most die-hard fans, which is weird. I don't know why you're fans of this person, but there's something for everybody. There's people who dress up as animals and do things together, okay? Like furries. There's something for everybody. So weirdos out there, and so her tribe was full of weirdos. That's just what it is. She gathered the weirdos. Was she funny? No, she wasn't funny at all. Like, not even a little bit funny. I didn't see any of it. I can understand how children might see it as engaging, but the adult fans that she had was mind-blowing to me. Like, I don't get it. Okay, and maybe I'm the problem. Okay, but she's not funny as far as I'm concerned. Her brother and sister-in-law, I think it's her brother and sister-in-law, are also family vloggers. What brought her to my attention was way back in the day, she had a video talking about child exploitation, and her take was so shitty, I had to do like a 2-part series on it. So this woman then had children and then exploited them on the internet, and it's just completely. It doesn't deserve the platform she has. And so many people are like that. So many people do not deserve the platform that they have, and yet they have them, which is, I hate this world sometimes. Okay, it bothers me. Adam McIntyre did a series of videos and continues to do a series of videos on her. He was the guy that she sent her lingerie to, and his parents were a little bit upset with this whole thing. Kind of started it early on. Like, everybody knew about this way back, but that wasn't what got her canceled. It was that on top of things that kept coming out on top of that. See, he had to release this information a bunch of times before it actually took. And good for him for taking down this predator. There's no other way to put this. She's a predator. And she was hiding in plain sight. And a lot of these predators do that. They hide in plain sight and they create communities which gives them easy access to their prey. And that's why the Catholic Church is so full of these priests who do that, because they are allowed to be and create communities with these children. That's why so many PDF files exist in Hollywood. That's why so many disgusting trash monsters like Harvey Weinstein exist in Hollywood, because they create this community where they bring in the people that need them and then they take advantage of them. Okay. And now, was she highly inappropriate on top of all those things that we heard? I don't know. Right? But she was highly inappropriate in a lot of ways, including conversation, including user power over others. So she deserved this cancellation in every single way. And Adam McIntyre used his platform to get out there. Now he arguably has a bigger platform than she does. Imagine being such a shitty creator that the kid that you sent something to is now a bigger creator than you are, and that's the backlash. Isn't that crazy? So, Colin, I don't know how many subscribers she's lost over the years, but she had almost 2 billion views on her channel before everything kind of collapsed. And in the past, this is a channel with 8.1 million subscribers, and she only has 206,000 views. This woman went from making, I'm not even kidding you, probably dozens of hundreds of thousands of dollars a month to, I can't, that would be a million, but you know what I mean? She's making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month on just YouTube alone. Not to do with the Netflix series, not to do with her tour, nothing. Just making money hand over fist to now making less than 225,000 views. There's no money being made on this channel. Like, a little bit, don't get me wrong. Like, this says $425. She's only getting hate watches now. She went from creating all this stuff to being one of the most wealthiest creators on this platform to being a joke on the internet. And now apparently she's moving because she can't afford her giant mansion that she bought. And her subscriber count, if you look here over the year, this is a dying channel. So at one point when this started tracking, which this is Mr. Beast's platform here, what is it, 8.7 million, 8.7 million, something like that. She has just dived since June 5th, 2023, which I think is when this story sort of broke big time. Look at this dive. Look at this dive. This is a woman who has fallen from grace, who no longer, like, there's so many big creators that got so big that they never ever can, like, ever be gone, because they'll still make a few $1,000s on the internet, which is more than they'll make working a job that they'll do in regular public, because no one will hire them except for, you know, people who don't really know who they are. They won't actually get a real job, and so they still make $5,000 to $10,000 a month, which is more than most people make. But again, at one point when you're making millions of dollars a year, it's a pretty big downgrade. That's going from making like $15 an hour to making like $1 an hour. Okay, that's what it's like. And so they cannot sustain their opulent lifestyles anymore. I think Colleen's been trying to fight back tooth and nail to just get back to some sort of more money than she's made before. And Miranda Sings here has, so if you just combine the YouTube views that she has so far, we're at something like 5 billion. So this woman has made more money than most people will ever know what to do with in their entire lives. And maybe she saved some. I hope she did, because I don't understand why she just doesn't leave. It doesn't make any, just leave. Everybody hates you now. Even on Miranda Sings with 10 million subscribers, 271,000 views. So combined, less than 500,000 views on two channels with over 18 million subscribers on them combined. And Miranda Sings isn't a growth channel, obviously. Over 3 months, no growth. Over 1 year, no growth, max. This. So she went from 10.8 million subscribers to 10.4 million. And that's on top of the loss that she's already having. So if you're losing hundreds and hundreds of thousands of subscribers, it means that it's overcoming the gain that you make. So you're losing even more than that. Does that make sense? So if you lose 100,000 subscribers, it means you've probably lost more like 140,000 subscribers, because you're overcoming the gain that you are, because by default, a channel with 10.4 million subscribers is going to gain some subscribers for people who don't know who you are. People who are coming into your content new, they don't know what kind of scandals you have. There is going to be some natural growth that occurs because of that. But the algorithm now has kicked her out of the platform and she's gone. This is a woman, again, who was making so much money, it was bananas. And I don't know when the last video she made on Miranda Sings, but this is a woman who's gone. She's toast. So this is her main channel with 2.95. And here she's almost at 1 million views. Okay, which isn't terrible. Don't get me wrong. She's probably pulling in $10,000 a month on this account, if people are watching, if they're not just skipping. But another channel right here, if you look at her subscriber count, went from there to the scandal, which was around June 2023. Well, May 2023, I guess. And then again, every single one of her channels completely dying. But she still makes videos on this one. And so for this day, for this video, first day in 16 hours, she only made 15,000 views on it. Like, again, of a channel with 2.95 million subscribers, just all of her shit is collapsed into nothingness. And it's deserved. She's absolutely owed this, 100%. And so she gets on this podcast here called Tea Time with Raven and Miranda, with a background that looks like the inside of a fifth wave feminist purse. Whatever. It is what it is. I actually happen to be a fan of Raven Simone. I think I've seen some of her stuff in the past. She's good. I like her shows. She's funny. I think she's awesome. I don't know what she did after TV and all that kind of stuff. I guess this is what she's doing. With Tea Time with Raven and Miranda. I don't know who these people are, except for Raven. I don't know who Miranda is. I don't know any of these people. They seem nice, I guess. They seem normal. But if you're going to platform Miranda Sings, get ready for this ratio. Because they got 3,000 upvotes for 13,000 downvotes plus mine, which I just did right there. 13,000 downvotes. But if you look at the video, it's got 100,000 views, which is way more than any of the other videos that they have. Because I mean, Raven-Symoné was a pretty famous actor for a while. But if you look at their view counts, like they got Chelsea Handler, who's pretty famous, 69,000. We've come from Madison Pettis. I don't know who that is, but 84,000 views. Their most popular video right now is Kyle Massey with 300,000. And then the Colleen Ballinger, like they got a bunch here that over 100. They got Alison Stoner, which I love Alison Stoner. She's great. She's got a great message. And Colleen Ballinger's up there. Like they platform Drake Bell as well here. And then Colleen Ballinger's coming up. So they're getting the biggest, I think the biggest creators they get on the channel, it gets them views, but they get panned as well. Because why are you platforming Colleen Ballinger? She does not deserve a platform. Let her go. Everybody just needs to be like, bye, Colleen Ballinger. Right off. It's time for you to go. Okay? Like these people, they don't even care that they're hated. Who's that one guy who like kept messaging minors? He's got a real punchable face and he talks to their mouth like that all the time. Anyway, they make just enough to like live decent, but never will be what they once were. And that will always bug them. But again, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? So if you have a big enough platform that you can be canceled, but you can't really be canceled. Because you could just exist on a platform and say, I have 10 million subscribers. Right? I have like across 5 platforms, she has like 15 million subscribers. Although she's losing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of subscribers. I think it might have like started waning, but it's not. I still don't think it has. I don't think she's ever going to be ever again back to this level. That's why these people just need to go get real jobs. I don't understand why creators who make this kind of money don't invest in their futures. Why are you not putting millions of dollars away into like some kind of high interest savings account or investing in businesses and things like that so you like can just walk away? I would love to have that kind of money where I could just walk away from YouTube one day and be like, hey, I'm going to go do this business now. Like I would love to do that. I mean, you guys, some people think I make that kind of, I don't. But if I did, you're damn right I would do shit like that. I would buy multiple properties. I would be investing in my future outside of this platform because this platform is going to be gone for almost every creator at some point. Maybe Mr. Beast is the only one who can survive that. Okay, but most creators, we have a time limit on this platform. Like we gather our subscribers, we do what we got to do, and then eventually people are like, hey, I'm moving on. And that's the nature of it. I used to follow a lot of other people and I don't follow them anymore. I used to be interested in a lot of different things I'm no longer interested in. And so, that's why I started Unfollowed. If you go over to the other channel, which is more of a channel that does exactly what I do here, except for it's expanded to like the entire world, influencer culture and just pop culture in general, and calling out, this type of behavior, but like elsewhere. Right? So it's something that I've pivoted to, which I think is important to do. I've got lots of ideas and stuff like that. But again, I know I'm not going to exist on here forever. I know I won't. And so I make sure, but I have a good background of like working my ass off for almost my entire life in order that if I ever had to leave this, I'd be fine. I have a lot of marketable skills. I have a lot of talents and ability, especially in the tech world, in the visual world, in the filming world, and all that kind of stuff, photography and all that kind of stuff. I would be fine. Like I wouldn't make as much money as I'm making now, but I would be absolutely fine because I've future-proofed myself. I've made sure that I have these things, that I have interest in other businesses, and if I want to go back to school for something, I can do that. I put my wife through school. I want to put my wife through her master's to become a nurse practitioner as well. Maybe I'll start a nurse practitioner clinic. I don't know. The sky's the limit. When you grew up hardworking like I did, because I had no choice, which I'm glad I did. But I grew up working since I was 14 years old. I've had hundreds of jobs. Okay, I've done everything. Okay, and I am a hardworking individual who always has something on the go. I'm always working. If I'm not doing the steel in my garage, I'm re-siding my house. I'm putting up this 40-foot effing Santa Claus. It took like 3 years to do. I'm cutting my grass. I'm working with my hands. I'm building shelves. I'm always doing something. Okay, and I can immediately go work somewhere, which is fine. All these creators that you see out here that do nothing, that's all they're good for themselves. They're not contributing to society in any meaningful way whatsoever. Those who do contribute to society are the ones who make the least amount of money. And that's why the world's backwards, and that's why I can't wait for this asteroid. I heard there's an alien ship in the ocean somewhere. Maybe they can start their thing. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, all that to say, I am going to cover this video. It's very, very long. So we're going to scrub through it a bit. There's no chapters, these lazy bastards, but I'm sure there's some tidbits in here we can garner from the Colleen Ballinger lore and add to it, because f you, Colleen Ballinger, piece of shit. Anyway, here we go.
Today, we're sitting down with Colleen Ballinger, actress, comedian, and YouTuber, best known for her character, Miranda Sings.
Those glasses are a choice. I'm both with them. I'm sorry, Raven, if you're watching this, just because that's what I do. I just snark on people. I know I'm a potato. I think you're beautiful, Raven. I think you're awesome. I don't know who this person is with the weird yellow glasses. Maybe it's for night driving, but that's what I do. It's nothing against you guys. From my heart. And I know, Raven, I think you're a comedian, so I think you know this. Just saying. I'm going to be snarking on your background. Okay, because it's not it.
You were anywhere online in 2023, you probably saw Colleen's name trending. It's because she was accused of crossing personal boundaries with fans.
To say it lightly, is that a straight up bolt? Just a bolt through your ear?
Some of whom were minors, and the response was intense.
She posted a response video that made the whole situation blow up even more.
Yes, she did.
And what followed was
I'm an idiot.
one of the biggest public cancellations we've seen in a while.
This is actually the first time that we're meeting Colleen, and we've decided to do it now because we feel like enough time has passed for reflection and learning, and for a real conversation behind the headlines.
Yeah, well, they don't care that they're getting panned.
It's easy to form opinions based on what we see online, but harder to sit down face to face and ask questions about what's really happened, what someone's taken from it, and how they're moving forward.
Well, when you read the comments on this video, you're going to see that this video did not achieve what they thought. It's easy not to look back and see, and we can be like reflective, and all the comments are like,
Our goal isn't to revisit every detail, but to understand the human side of the story that became very public.
No. Why don't you cover people who are human, not psychopaths?
So today, Colleen is here to share her perspective in her own words, to share what she's learned, what she regrets, and what she hopes all of us take away from it now.
And we're here to listen.
Here's our conversation with Colleen Ballinger.
The piano. I was canceled. Please don't cancel me more.
Now that I'm a mom, obviously every choice I make, I think about how it could affect my children.
I don't like her face. It looks like she stretched it over another face.
And I wish that I went into my interactions with my fans with that same mindset of like, everything I say can affect them, and think about how this can affect these people that you're interacting with.
My next guest tonight is one of the most popular YouTubers in the world.
Her videos have garnered more than 1 billion views online.
You all know her as Miranda Sings.
Please welcome Colleen Ballinger.
Colleen.
Over 6 million subscribers, nearing 2 billion views, now a Netflix show.
You're famous. You're famous. We're all famous.
I hate both of these women. This one is an insufferable dingleberry. Insufferable. Just, I attribute part of the downfall of humanity to Chelsea Handler. A little bit. Just a little, though.
Colleen has written a best-selling self-help book, is touring around the world, and has appeared with the likes of Jimmy Fallon and Jerry Seinfeld.
I'm sure they regret it.
YouTube star Colleen Ballinger, who's better known as her online persona Miranda Sings,
They're in New York.
is facing significant backlash. She's been accused of having inappropriate relationships with some of her underage fans.
And now a new video she made is landing the
Stupid idiot.
content creator in even more hot water.
They wanted an explanation, and they deserved that, and I didn't give it to them.
What happened personally?
This looks like Taylor Swift's second cousin twice removed. Third time removed.
Caught up in the things that weren't true that were being said about me, that I feel like I wasn't listening to the things that were true. I don't blame anyone but me. It was like...
No, she hates Adam. She hates Adam. Let's be real. Adam McIntyre, it's like if she's got a list on her wall, he's at the top of the list, okay? When she puts a red lipstick on, he's on the top of the list. Just saying, he knows it.
A part of my brain was missing. People do make mistakes, and people can learn and grow and change.
Yeah, but you didn't, and you haven't, and you're done. And maybe you can. Here's the thing. The thing about when famous people get away with this shit, like that guy I was talking about with the face and the hair, broccoli head, he should have like been put in jail. The thing is, they never get held accountable for the things that they actually have done. That's what people get pissed off about. It's us plebs out here. When we break the law and do and shit like that, like we go to jail for that stuff. Famous people, nah, it's all right.
Did you know they were underage at the time?
Yes.
Your name is
because everybody
Ballinger,
butchers
and I've
hers.
said it so many times.
It looks like the studio smells like an old lady's purse, or an old, like, that old smell, lavender. Is it lavender? Do you know what I'm saying? Like the old, like Chanel No. 5.
It wouldn't bother me if you did. Most people don't say it right. My whole life it was Colleen Ballinger.
Ballinger. Yeah,
people say
I'm
usually.
Mayday, and so people are always like Mayday, because it's
No, they're not.
not with a middle Y.
Oh, okay.
So it gets very
Yeah, my name is Raven.
Oh, then it is midday.
You're a mom of 3 now,
I can't believe that.
right?
That's so.
Shouldn't be.
You had a 20-year run. You explained that you hustled to make that character what it was. And then the world imploded.
And here we go.
Then
Finally,
you got
15
canceled.
minutes in.
And then you had all these accusations and a lot of voices come through the screen that had been rooting for you for so long. You had the rug pulled out from underneath you. We will get into those and kind of talk a little bit about some of the comments people have made and how certain situations have made watchers and viewers feel. But I first want to ask you, when you first got that ting about, oh no, something is going astray, what happened personally, internally to you?
I pooped a lot. She pooped a lot.
It was kind of a slow build. And I feel like I felt it brewing for a little bit first. It was a very jarring experience. And first, I think I should say, when my audience kind of grew and it went from this older audience to, it spread and there was now a lot more teens watching me. I didn't adjust my comedy very much because I was like, well, they found me doing this, so this is what they like and this is what I like, so I'm going to keep doing the comedy they like. And I did adjust it a little bit over time. But one thing that I didn't do, and I should have been much more careful about, is I didn't adjust my interactions with my fans. And that's something I regret a lot because, like I said earlier...
The inappropriate interactions is what she's saying. So she's always been inappropriate, but then her fans got younger, and she's like, and I stayed inappropriate with young fans.
The difference between me and a mainstream celebrity, at least in the beginning, was that I was attainable and look, she'll talk to us, she'll interact with us, and she's talking to us from her living room, she'll talk about anything. And she's so open and she'll...
Which, don't do that. Don't talk to teenagers on the internet.
Talk one-on-one with us. She meets us in person at her shows and whatnot, and we know her.
for money.
And I didn't think about when I was interacting with my fans, I didn't think about a power dynamic that could have been there. I didn't think about a parasocial relationship, and I should have. I should have been more responsible in thinking about that, but I didn't even think of myself that way. I was like, yeah, we are friends. Like, I think I felt the same way. And so for me, I was like, well, I'm just talking to my friends. I talked to all of them like they were my friends, my sisters, all the fans. And I definitely should have been more careful with the way I was joking with them and the things I was saying to them.
Do you feel like not having a team earlier in your career hindered you from making better decisions?
I definitely wish I had someone to give me advice. I was with that group of like the first...
This girl's making millions of dollars. Like, I mean millions and millions of dollars, and you didn't have a team? I don't believe you. I don't believe you. And if your sister was saying, who's had this interview and off to the side here, was with you the whole time, she didn't tell you anything? Like, I don't think a team would have mattered, Colleen. So, the fact that she did have a team, by the way, but she just didn't have one that's like, hey, maybe you shouldn't speak inappropriately to teenagers. Maybe don't send that teenager, lingerie. And like, she did a video about it. So she did with another person in the video, not saying anything. I think it was her husband. I think. But like, nobody was going to tell Colleen Ballinger what to do. These famous people get to these upper echelons of fame and fortune. Nobody's telling them what to do. Okay? Nobody has the balls to it. They're trying to get paid. That's their boss. You going to tell your boss what to do? Come on. Shut up.
YouTubers that kind of like.
So
roasting
again, anybody to blame but Colleen Ballinger, she's saying. I wish I had other people to tell me. Like, clearly that all that proves that those who were around you weren't comfortable telling you anything. So that means that you're also to blame. So, sorry?
Sort of stardom or fame, in the beginning. So it's not like there were people before me doing this that I could look to and ask questions about. This was a new thing. Yeah. And so, and I'm not saying that as an excuse. There's plenty of other people who
You're definitely saying that as an excuse.
Fame who didn't
hope this helps.
Interact with their fans. And but it was something that I felt was an appeal to why people were watching me at all. And I felt such pressure to like make sure I made my fans happy, because I wanted to do anything that they wanted, and I wanted to write back to every letter and respond to every message and whatever they asked for I wanted to give them and do, because they were the reason I had the career that I have. Mm-hmm. If it weren't for them, I wouldn't have the life that I have and
mansions,
amazing career,
millions
that I had. And
it sounds like everything you were doing online was from a place of trying to please your fans and connect with your fans.
No, that's not what it was. Sorry, that's not what it is. Famous people are like, what did I do for the fans? What can I do for the fans? I don't give a shit about their fans. Famous people are like, how can I make more money? How can I become more famous? What can I get away with? And then when they have everything, which they do, then they want the things that they can't have, by the way. They're just glossing over that. If this was a dude who did this, there would be no podcast with flowery backgrounds. Okay? Sorry. It's such a double standard.
And not lose them.
Yeah. That's pressure. But even with all that, I wish first there was someone there to help guide me and say like, hey, this could look bad taken out of context. This could look like, this could make someone uncomfortable. Or, I wish there was someone there to kind of help guide me. But at the same time, I'm also disappointed in myself that I didn't know better, because other people did. So why did I? So
at least she's admitting guilt here and should be in prison for it.
That's something that I've had to work through. Is like,
there should have been at least an investigation open into sending kids lingerie and having conversations like she was having with children. Like, it's just nothing. She just completely got away with it.
Why didn't I think more about this? Why didn't I think more about, a parasocial relationship? But
because you are, it's in here. You're a problem.
Do you have answers to those questions?
I think it all boils down to me just really wanting to make them the people pleasing tendency of like, I want to do this because this will make they're begging me.
You wanted them to love you.
I wanted them to love me. I wanted them to.
Don't give her an out. Let her explain it.
Like my content, I wanted them to be happy with what I was putting out there, because like I said, everything that I had was because they supported me. And so, that's what I was trying to do, but it would have been so much better for me to think about their well-being and if this would affect anyone in a negative way. Like, that's what I wish I had done.
When did you realize that people were starting to be negatively impacted?
Oh man, there's multiple moments, because it was, like I said, it was a slow build, but like I'd see people who had been fans for a long time would come to every show, were commenting on everything that I, at this point I'd recognize, because I would talk to them and I knew them, and to see them slowly drop off one at a time, it was like, oh, they're very upset. That was painful and really sad, and I wish I had listened more when all of it
basically she told them to F off, is what she said.
Happened. I was so caught up in the things that weren't true that were being said about me that I feel like I wasn't listening to the things that were true and the things that I did make mistakes doing and take responsibility for those things. Instead, I was like, well, they're saying all these other things about me that are lies, and that's not true. And I was angry about those things, and I wish that I...
Like what? What things? They always say, like, they're like, well, name one. Can we have a couple examples, please?
I just paused and listened for a second.
There's a lot of things that were said about you. There's been allegations of grooming behavior, or how do you? What do you think they're talking about?
Well, I was grooming.
That one is
that could be it.
That's the one that got me the hardest. When that allegation came up, that's when I was out. I was done. Because
am I the baddie? I think she had a moment of reflection when that happened and be like, because I think what took her down, really, in her own brain, was that she looked at the evidence and she was like, I'm a groomer. That's like, I honestly like thinks that she's stupid. And then when she was, the predatory side of her is just natural to her. Does that make sense? Do you know, it just comes naturally. That it's just like, that's who she is. It's not something that she's like, I'm a predator, I'm gonna go like stalk people and do all these things and do this. No, she just by nature was a predator for young people. That's it. And so she's admitting it. But then she had a reflection moment when she's being canceled as the slow burn was happening, and she's like, oh my gosh, I'm bad. That's it. That's what got her.
That was devastating and shocking. It was very shocking because I know that my intention and my actions have never been fueled with the desire to manipulate.
No, your whole entire shtick is that. It's everything. It's manipulating audiences to believe a certain thing.
Or groom anybody ever. That has never been something I have done.
But you did. And so, okay.
Or will ever do. And
you did. You did do it.
It's a very serious accusation.
Very serious.
Mm-hmm. So when those kind of words started being thrown around, that's when I kind of was, I'm
in deep shit.
Shut down. And it really was, that was devastating to hear. And, you asked, what does that mean to others?
Well, maybe you shouldn't have done it then. She's making herself the victim here, by the way, and this platform is allowing her to do that. It's not going to fly here. You don't get to have that here. I mean, I was like, oh my God, I was sad. Were you sad that you were grooming people? You got to be kidding me right now. Holy shit, man.
People.
Holy cow.
That's why this was a hard thing for me to know how to navigate, because it wasn't about what did she do or what didn't she do. It was more about what was her intention behind some of these.
Nope. That's not, you don't get to be like, it's not what I did do, which was grooming. It was, what were my intentions? Are you shitting me right now? Are you out of your damned mind? Like, my intentions weren't grooming, but your actions were. So who cares what your intentions were? The spirit of breaking the law isn't like, what were your intentions of breaking this law, of doing this thing? Well, I didn't mean to break the law. Well, you did break the law. So ignorance is an excuse here, everybody. And that she's trying to make ignorance an excuse. And all that does to me, it just shows to me that she actually is some kind of weird in her brain. Because if that's her default of who she really is, then there's something wrong with her for real, and she should be not around people, especially kids, teenagers. And she was given unfettered access to thousands, if not millions, of adoring legion of teenage fans. So if that's her default way of being, holy shit. And only when she got canceled did she reflect on the negative aspect, and she's now the baddie.
Actions, I think, and my intention was being decided for me by people talking about it. My intention wasn't to hurt or do anything negative ever. Now, that doesn't mean that people weren't hurt.
Right.
And that's the part that...
You don't get to sit there and be like, my intention wasn't. But it doesn't matter what your intentions were. The reality is what exists here. And so, just, again, this is a deflection tactic, and it's bullshit that she's even allowed to spout this bullshit. It wasn't my intention. Okay. Some people, it's not their intention to, hit pedestrians and kill them by accident. It's not their intention, but they still go to jail for manslaughter. Okay? It doesn't matter what your intention is. Again, if your default is to be a predator, that's maybe address that or something. It's therapy.
I wish I had paid more attention to. But I obviously didn't handle the situation the way that I should have. And it's really embarrassing. I wish that I could handle it a lot
differently. She burned that ukulele in the fireplace.
Differently than I did.
When you say that, are you talking about like the apology?
Talking about a musical instrument.
Yes, she is.
That I should have not
burned.
Picked up.
That to this day. We were all watching that in real time. I remember watching it. I did a video on it. I did my own ukulele song. And we're all watching that thinking, there's just no way this is real. Again, when your default is to be that type of person, then you don't need to be in public. I think you need to be in a straitjacket. Bring back insane asylums, because that's where she belongs. Okay? That's crazy. But no, instead, let's make them famous and give them millions of dollars and millions of adoring fans. Let's do that instead. That's where the world is right now. The people who should be in insane asylums and who should be in prison, some of them, now have bigger platforms than most people and most famous A-listers. That's where we are. That's where we are as a society. Isn't that great? We're so refreshing to be in society now.
Yes. I mean, I should have listened to what people were saying, and I should have...
I think people want an apology. I think people want for you to acknowledge the things that happened on stage. I hope that you give that to them.
I agree with you. I think that they do want an apology, and I am sorry. And I Here's the thing, is when you mess up and when you make a mistake and do something wrong, sometimes you gotta keep apologizing for it. And that's what I should have done. Like, and people keep saying it's an apology song. I didn't apologize in that thing.
No, she didn't. She did not apologize in it. She deflected everything. There was no apology.
Did not.
I did not.
You know what?
There
You are
was
correct. You
no
did not
sorry in
apologize.
that.
You did not. I was actually laughing.
Is that girl holding an implant?
Just let you know, that was some crazy penmanship.
We also,
What is she holding right here?
in watching it, I remember one of the things that we talked about was it felt like you were angry.
Yeah,
and,
I was.
What is that?
burnt out and just
Fed up.
Yeah, fed up.
I was.
Yeah.
And it's very clear that I was angry. And that's why I keep saying I wish that I had just paused for a second.
And the thing is, Colleen thinks she's right about it still. To this day, she wrote that song as a clapback to the haters. And she's like, this'll teach them. Which didn't. Okay, just canceled it even more. But like, she still to this day doesn't think she did anything wrong. Obviously. And she just lip servicing her way back into hopefully some kind of semblance of a career. It's not going to happen. Colleen, you don't even go here anymore. It's time to leave. Just get off the internet and go live your life. You could sell your giant mansion that you live in California, go live in the hills of Idaho or some shit where the hills have eyes, and just go garden and pick rocks. That's it. Actually, go kick rocks as far as I'm concerned. Just go. You have so much money and wealth that you could probably live comfortably for the rest of your life. Low key. Do you know what I'm saying? Just go. I would too, man. Who wants to be? Who would? Who wants to continue to be hated on the internet? That's the problem. It's like her default level is not normal humanity. And that's what got you here, Colleen.
And listened to my fans, to my supporters.
The process.
Because while there were things being said about me that weren't true, my people who would support me for so many years that I'm up here saying, like, I just wanted them to be happy, I wanted to make them happy. Well, they wanted an explanation. They wanted to understand what's going on. And they deserved that. And I didn't give it to them. Instead, I was angry and sang a song, and which is crazy.
It blew shit up.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
It blew shit up. Raven said it correctly.
It was.
I'm aware.
Okay, just let you know. That was crazy, bro.
Absolutely crazy. And I think, when the dust did settle, because I like you were saying, I did want to address it, and I was being told. I got a lot of advice from a lot of people. And the
Thought you weren't getting advice from people. Now you're getting advice from people? Okay.
majority of the
A little late for the advice.
advice was don't say anything. And I'm sure you know from being in the industry for so long.
all the time, don't say nothing.
Right. Don't address it. Don't say anything. It will just make it worse. Don't address it. Don't say anything. It'll just make it worse. But I'm a different position than a traditional celebrity because people watch me because I was so open and I talked about everything. I mean, I talked about everything. Like that I've been through, my mental health and my
Creepy uncle,
births and my
which we made light of. Again, one more thing that just made her a piece of shit.
pregnancies and my journey to fame. Like, I mean, everything I've been through, I've talked about online very openly. And so, my audience, that was one of the reasons they liked watching me. And so then to suddenly be like, not only am I not going to talk about this, I'm going to sing this song about it. And it was such a choice.
It was such a choice.
I very much.
Everybody around her was like, "Oh, you fucking idiot!" Because about the people who too rely on her for a paycheck too, they're losing out too.
Yes. And so I think, I was like being so frustrated because I was just like, let me just address this. Like, please let me just talk. I just want to talk about this. And so finally after I posted the video, it was shortly after I posted it, I was talking to someone on the phone from my team. And I was like, oh, that was a huge mistake. That was really stupid.
You think?
It was like there was so much, I had to say something. And finally I let it out.
What does regret feel like?
Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible. It's horrible. Because because you want to
Because the internet's forever. That's what she's trying to say.
fix it. You can't fix it. And that's the worst. Like, I wanted to fix it so bad, and there was no fixing it.
Well, there wasn't.
There was nothing I could do to fix it. Mm-hmm. And that was so awful. That was because not only did I not address anything that I wanted to address, not only did I not, dispute the lies that I wanted to dispute, and I just made things worse. It was so bad.
So where do you think your mind went during that time? That you
Acid or mushrooms.
were so unable, I guess, to have the perspective you have now?
Were you trying to save a character? Were you trying to save yourself? Were you trying to...
Were you just like completely
Blacked out in
kind
anger?
of disconnected from it? And you're like, I'm just going to do this because I'm pissed?
I feel like it was a little bit of all of it. I mean, it was really overwhelming to have these words thrown around in connection to me and my name that are really horrible. I mean,
maybe don't do horrible shit then. Just throwing that out there into the ether. You consider not being a douche?
That's a horrible thing to be and to be accused of when you know that you are not that.
You displayed those things, though. That's why people were accusing you of those things, like, credibly. So you can semantics your way and pivot and all the bullshit that you want. That doesn't change the truth.
Especially because, in my opinion, that's one of the worst things a person can be. It probably is. And so to be accused of that, knowing that I'm not that.
Are you speaking of grooming? Can you dive a little bit deeper into what happened at the yoga challenge?
It was a challenge on YouTube for a while for people to try out different yoga poses. The couples would do it together because if you're not experiencing yoga, it's difficult to do. And so since I'm a YouTuber on my live show, sometimes I would do challenges from YouTube. So I did that challenge and I'd have people come up on stage and we would try out different yoga poses that popped up on the screen. And well, obviously we could never do them and I would be, flailing about as Miranda. And
flailing. There was one See, she's just kind of diminishing what she did. Guys, when you see what she did in the video, you're going to be like, oh.
Hi, okay, my name is Becky. I'm the girl in this video. I got called up for the yoga challenge.
So, again, you can go watch these people, but basically that's where she spread her legs on the stage, really wide open. She looks like she's wearing a skirt, and, did, very sexually lewd things with a teenager. And so that's what she's diminishing right now. So don't ever, this is the thing. If you can put into context what she's talking about and see what she did, her getting to diminish it, it's not giving justice to the victims. Or it's disserving them for sure. Disserving them.
Those where there are two people and both legs are spread open, you're holding each other's legs. And I genuinely never thought of it as a sexual or inappropriate.
Yes, you did. Yes, you absolutely did. It's the reason why you did it. Just stop lying.
Great thing. To me, the joke was that when the legs were open to do the pose, the fart sound effect came on screen. So it was like, once the legs opened up, there was a fart sound. And to me, that was all I thought that...
No, it's not. Don't lie. Because you would joke about your pedo uncle and everything else, and there was a lot of sexual connotations to Miranda Sings and innuendos in the background of it all. So, no.
Joke was, I never knew that was something that would make someone feel uncomfortable and trigger emotions and feelings. I feel terrible about that. Genuinely,
No, you don't. You feel terrible because you got called out.
When I heard about that, I felt so bad because that is something I'd never want to do, is trigger anyone, but especially a girl who's been through horrible things in that manner. Like that, it feels so terrible that me doing this silly yoga joke, in my mind, was a silly yoga joke, could be something that could trigger her in such a negative way and affect her in such a negative way.
You call it a silly yoga joke. It wasn't. It destroyed her. And the fact that you can't see it or recognize that and give it credence means that you just didn't take it and still don't take it seriously. And this is why no one likes you anymore. Because it sounds like she's sitting on this podcast and saying, I'm so wrong, I'm so bad, I'm so sorry. But it's not. It's her literally diminishing everybody's truth about what happened to them so that it makes her look a little bit better. Be like, you guys are kind of over, you're overthinking it. It's giving victim blaming the entire time. So that's why this podcast has 13,000 downvotes.
And it's awful. And I'm really proud of anyone who's been able to come forward and express that. No. Because I want kids and minors and anyone to be able to feel like they can speak up if they're uncomfortable.
Yeah, is that what you want?
And they can speak up about things that they feel are not okay. They need to be able to feel that way. Certainly, the things that I've done in my comedy in the past, there's so many things I look back and go, oh my God, I would never do that. Now I can't believe I did that. And it was.
Do you see? And that comedy that you did with the leg wide opening on the stage there, that's that era. Ask her the question, well, would you do that again today? Well, no, I wouldn't. But why? If, let's say she hadn't complained about it and hadn't wrecked her life, right? Or she hadn't felt victimized. Would you have done it? Oh, yeah, probably kept going. She would have kept going doing the same thing if none of these scandals broke. That's the thing. She's lying to you. She's pissed that she got caught. This is the example of an influencer who's not mad that they did it. They're mad that they got caught. They're not ashamed that they did it. They're mad that they got caught. There's no shame here. They're selfish. In order to be this type of person, you've got to be a weirdo. Okay, that's all there is to it.
For the laugh, you're on stage and it is different than when you're online and you can read comments from people who go, hey, that's not cool. And you can go, oh crap. When you're on stage, everyone's laughing and enjoying it and then telling you after, that was the best part of the show when you did this, this, and this. And a lot of the comedy that I did with Miranda, when my audience shifted, I was like, okay, how do I keep this audience that liked this crass humor and now appeal to this younger audience that now is growing so much? And my solution to that was I will still do these more crass innuendo type jokes, and it'll go over the kids' heads, and then the parents will have something to laugh at, and the adults will have something to laugh at that are in the audience. And that was my solution to that.
That's not a good solution, considering most of your audience is teenagers.
Rectifying what was going on stage?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought, well, everyone knows that I'm a safe person, and I don't mean anything negative by this. I was like, well, everyone knows this is in jest, and so
no,
it's fine for me just because the crass jokes will go over the kids' heads, and the adults will laugh at it, and that is how it seemed to me. I didn't think more about how that could be.
Obviously you didn't think, because it didn't occur to you, and that's what makes it worse. Why don't you understand about this? If it doesn't occur to you that you're this type of person, that means inherently that's who you really are. Does that make sense? Like, am I overthinking that? It's just like, okay, well, if this is your default natural behavior, then okay, bad news.
Acting the younger people in the audience.
Do you feel like you have a different perspective now between, let's say, like bad judgment and harmful behavior?
I definitely do. Yeah, I certainly think that and especially now, now that I'm a mom, obviously every choice I make, I think about how it could affect my children. And I wish that I went into my interactions with my fans with that same mindset of like, everything I say can affect them, and think about how this can affect these people that you're interacting with.
Now you're showing up to live with your legacy through the rest of their lives. That's nice. You didn't think shit.
Did parents ever confront you after? Did you ever get any kind of interaction with an adult who said, this didn't feel good for me and my child?
No, I never did personally. I don't know if someone got that message and I never received it. The only complaint I ever remember receiving in that way, in person from a live show or anything, was at the beginning of my shows, I used to do a ukulele song. Where I would, ukulele. I know. Where I would sing the hate comments that I received. And there was hate comments, so there was a lot of bad language, and the comments were on the screen, and I would sing them. And we did get some complaints about that. They were like, you're saying bad words, like in the first 5 minutes of the show, and I have my young kid here, whatever. And so then I changed it. I bleeped the words on the screen, and I bleeped the audio of it too, so that you couldn't hear or see it. And we also changed on the website everywhere, like, this is a PG-13 show, like, making sure everyone knew that this was not a kid show.
PG-13 is not holding up a teenager's legs wide open on stage. That's not PG-13. I'm sorry. No. Nope.
Because
just calling it PG-13 doesn't actually mean it's PG-13.
Got that complaint. And so I don't know if we were getting that complaint and it was stopped before it got to me or not, but I never received.
She's deflecting and blaming others now for her own behavior.
A complaint like that. And in fact, I was usually told,
this is your show, Miranda Sings, Colleen Ballinger. It's yours. All on you. Don't blame other people for your bullshit.
Oh my gosh, these jokes that were, they didn't get it, but it was so funny I can't believe, it was always the shock of like, I can't believe you said that. I can't believe you did that. And I was always told that it was all funny and it was so ridiculous and over the top. And
time is interesting. Time is really interesting because if you go back in time for entertainment, there's been many a comedian, many a entertainer that has done things in their early career that when they look back on, they wish they didn't, because culture changes. While people were laughing with you and quote unquote at you because of the character, it must feel so like two-faced for you, for all these people who were laughing with you, and then all of a sudden
have them turn against you.
Yes, it's painful to see people who supported me and laughed with me and all this stuff suddenly turn and change their mind about it. But I don't blame anyone but me for, I completely blame myself.
No, you just spent the last 10 minutes on this thing blaming other people.
Especially because...
See, you can't just say that. And then after what you just said, you can't be like, well, it's all me though. But no, you just kind of threw everybody else under the bus, your staff and everybody else who didn't get the complaints. Maybe they didn't get to you.
I know that people do make mistakes and people can learn and grow and change. And one of my biggest mistakes was not listening and addressing things.
Okay,
and
let's get to this Adam thing.
But I would like to ask you one more time to address this and kind of what happened and how you're feeling about it now.
This is the main scandal that kind of broke for her, which is the Adam McIntyre sending him lingerie.
Yeah, what an idiot. Is how I feel about it now. I think it was like 10 years ago, something like that. I was doing a live stream, and I always loved giving away gifts to my fans online. So I would send them like a bobby pin of Miranda's or a lipstick of Miranda, an old shirt, you know. Usually it was to encourage them to donate to a charity event that I would do every year. But I loved giving out stuff. And so I was doing a live stream like I did pretty often, and I was opening up a box of clothes that I bought, and in it was this underwear bra set that I didn't order, and it was we were all laughing about it. So everyone in the chat was laughing about it, me and my friend, and he actually put it on over
it wasn't her husband, it was her friend.
Clothes. And I was like, look at this, and we were laughing about it, and there are people in the comments saying, oh, send that to me, send that one to me, and we were like, we're not going to do that, that's crazy. But then there's one fan in particular who kept asking us to send it, and I was like, obviously you can tell in the live, like I'm like hesitant about it because there is a little bit of brains in there somewhere that was like maybe not, because I hesitate.
But then you did, so off. Stop being like, I was thinking that at one point I had a little bit of guilt, but then I just did it anyway, went ahead and did it. Like, look at the actions that took place, not what she's saying, right? I was thinking about it, so that makes me a better person, right?
But then I was like, and I didn't send it. I didn't. But then it was just became an inside joke with the fandom, and everyone was like telling me to send it, and he kept asking for it. It was like months of this, until finally I did, and it was very public.
Sounds like she forced him to send it. That's what she's making it sound like. Off, Colleen. No. You should have just ate this one and be like, you know what? It was wrong. That's it. I had a lapse of massive judgment. I'm a douchebag loser. Next. That's what you should have done here.
Again, as a joke. And it was like a part of my brain was missing in action of like, hey, this is not a good idea. This looks bad. It wasn't a pair of my something that I sent to a young fan in an inappropriate way, but it was inappropriate. Like, what part of me thought like, everyone will know this is a silly joke in the fandom. Like I wish I'd never done that. That was so inappropriate. And if he was made to feel uncomfortable because of that, like I feel terrible, and I'm so sorry, because that was not my intention.
He was underage when you did it. So that's why it was bad. And everybody's like, well, Adam was asking for it and he wanted it. He's underage. You don't send underage fans underwear. I don't care how much they want it. Like, again, this was the downfall of Miranda Sings. This is one of the biggest stories of the whole thing that broke it all, then broke everything else open, and all the other fans and all the other insiders started speaking up about it. It always takes a whistleblower. Adam was the whistleblower. And then everybody felt, empowered to come forward. It wasn't just that, but that was the thing. I think that was the straw that broke the camel's back. I think so. I think it was the dam cracking, for sure.
I thought it was like a silly inside joke with the whole fandom. It was all very public, and I thought it was a silly thing, and it was so stupid.
It's also difficult, I think, in that specific situation when you feel like you're being given permission, if you will, because everyone is saying kind of the same thing. Everyone seems in on the joke. Everyone seems to understand it. Everyone is saying, send it. And then you have this person not dropping it after that, but continuing the conversation weeks after this has happened. I can see where you don't think about potential negative consequences.
And I don't even think Adam, when he got it, was upset or like felt a certain way. He then, I think his parents were like, what the F is this? And then he was like given the perspective of it. He's like, okay, yeah, well maybe this is it. And that's people can change. That's what happens, right? People start waking up to things like, yeah, that's crazy. Kids who are abused, who come out from that, and this is me, I'm this kid as well. When we come out of abusive situations and grow up, we didn't see them when we were children as abusive situations. Okay, we then woke up later and we realized as we got older, that was crazy that happened to me. It was normal, especially for a lot of us kids who are abused as children. That was our normal. I've said this a million times on this channel, and that's very, very, very closely aligned with influencers and their fans too. Is you don't see it as a fan, you don't see that as a bad thing. When you get older and wake up and realize, like, that's not right. That's okay. You're allowed to have that. You're a victim. And when you wake up and realize, because you've grown up or something's happened or life experiences has changed, that's really, really devastating to a lot of us who are abused and mistreated. Okay, because again, when you grow up in an abusive home like I did, the only time that you see that it's not normal is when you go to a friend's house who has a normal house, who isn't abused, and you're like, this is kind of weird that this is, and you envy them, right? And then you start kind of, as you get out into the world more, you start waking up, and then as you get in as an adult, and then as a parent myself, I'm like, man, I would never do that shit to my kids. And you start, even like to this day, you think back on something that happened you might have thought was even funny. And you're like, damn, man, that wasn't funny. And that's like the trip, the journey that victims take. And that's why sometimes overcoming it and coming to terms with it takes so long. It takes so long to come to, it took me until well into my 20s to come to terms with my abuse. I blamed myself for most of my childhood, most of my things that happened to me. And then as I got older and I realized, I woke up, that's so freeing eventually when it does happen and you realize I wasn't to blame for that shit. It wasn't my fault. When you start to realize and you can finally have that, your brain developing and understanding it all, it sometimes is too late. That's what I'm saying. That's why these people need to take this shit more seriously. It's so dangerous what these people do. And it's so fucking nothing for them. It's just a nothing. It's like it's a conversation on podcast afterwards, but it could have destroyed that other person. They don't seem to give a shit. You know?
Because in that moment, it feels pure.
And you're not sending it in a sexual manner.
No. Well, and I appreciate that. But at the same time, like, it was my responsibility to know.
Anyway, they just keep going.
It's with maturity. Mm-hmm. You know that?
I don't even care anymore. It's so long. I just want to really get to that. Asking her if she forgives herself before she even properly apologized to her victims is crazy work. And there's going to be comments be like, oh, she did apologize. You're just not listening. She didn't. She's just in deflection mode. She's just trying to save what semblance of a career she had. She's honestly not truly sorry. And if she truly did feel that she did this to these people, the only thing that she could have done was leave the internet and been like, you guys are right, I'm done here. That's it. That would have reflected it. But it's not. She just keeps trying to save this thing, continue it, because it's all she knows, it's all she has. It's still all about Colleen Ballinger. This comment section really shows how extremely filtered Colleen's comments are. I love how the original title was Colleen's actual apology, and then look back at it, realize she still never apologized unless asked to do so, then change the title to Colleen telling her side. Is truly diabolical. Friendly reminder, grooming isn't always S nature. Colleen has also groomed children to do her work for her and attack anyone who calls her out. Yeah, it's not just S in nature. Grooming is a multitude of things, and a lot of people would consider raising a child in a Christian home grooming them to be like fundamentalist Christians. Let's be clear here. If a grown man had sent a little girl underwear in the mail, we would not be doing this. It was such a gray area at the time. Nonsense. We would be calling him what he is. You haven't been online in 2 years. That's not true. She continued her channel just months after this was all unveiled. Exactly. An underage man, he was a child. Just wow at the word choices. Yeah, exactly, right? With the words that they choose also makes us sit here and realize that they're not serious about this. If you're just trying to soften it, not address it properly, just f*** off. Not only allowing her to have a platform and giving absolute zero pushback on any of her statements, but also excusing her actions and dismissing the impact she has on these children is so insane. Just absolutely disgusting. So what about using a minor for free labor and using a minor as divorce therapist? Sending Trisha's nudes to minors, rallying her teen audience to attack cyberbully a minor? Was all that rooted in her desire just to make people laugh in the moment? See, there's so much. You just got to read this comment section for the truth of it all. And this is her legacy now, that she's leaving for her children too. What the F is wrong with y'all for platforming someone who's still to this day claiming that her victims are lying? Keep in mind, she was already a mom when she was messaging inappropriate things to minors in group chats. Let that sink in. A 30-year-old woman in chats with minors. Not bringing up the Trisha situation is crazy, because they know that Trisha would take this video and use it. That's why. But Trisha's a piece of shit too, by the way, everybody. I don't care. Maybe not grooming teenagers bad, but like bad otherwise. She hasn't apologized to the children she affected. The amount of lies, missed points, stories that don't add up is mind-blowing. It's like part of my brain was missing. Sounds like Ned Fulmer's that part of my brain was damaged. Great excuse. Here's the thing. You can say that, but part of your brain wasn't missing. So you don't just get to say it unless a part of your brain was missing. I love this internet because we absolutely do not accept this apology. Everyone is not dropping it. They were children. Not even watching this hot garbage. How dare you platform a predator, Raven? How dare you? Just a reminder, everyone, Colleen Ballinger is a child predator, full stop. There are receipts upon receipts. Y'all really said, we've heard from a lot of child victims, but not enough from the child groomer. That's the choice I want to listen to and say. Why not platform the people the victims? Why not that? That's a good question. The constant use of younger person rather than child and her refusing to say the word groomer or PDF file shows she still won't acknowledge what she's done. Thing is, she did acknowledge a bunch of things in there, but not on purpose. She acknowledged that this is her default and who she really is. And a lot of people are missing that. Okay, so if that's who you really were and you're like, that's not what I meant, it wasn't meant to be, but that's the reality of the outcome, then that's really, really important to this conversation. Colleen Ballinger's default is to be that person. And that's who she really was. It wasn't a put on joke. It wasn't something faked. It was who she really was. And when someone shows you who they really are, you know what I mean? You know the rest. Y'all, this is actually diabolical. What you would platform this woman after this. Like, I mean, this is, I'll scroll down for a little while. Ready? Pick a random one. This was the least researched, poor taken, laden, put off piece I've seen. She isn't the victim in the situation. Wow, can't believe they are platforming her without considering how it affects the victims. She had no remorse and that was clear from her ukulele video. Nope, she needs to apologize to the children she hurt. Nope. Like, the whole section. That was a choice, a horrible one, years later, and she did not learn anything. Give us nothing. No, Colleen, you didn't get canceled. A person can't be canceled. We are in a TV show. She suffered the consequences of her very adult actions. Shame on her. I mean, you pick one. I don't think there's one positive comment in this whole lot. Maybe there is, but they probably get panned. Y'all didn't do proper research on the child grooming you had on your podcast, and trust me, it shows. She had 2 to 5 years of time to tell her side of the story and properly apologize to all the children she's affected. She hasn't been ran off the internet. She still posts. She felt comfortable enough to slander Adam on her YouTube channel when he was a minor, but can't properly apologize now. I mean, just go read it yourself. This is her legacy. This is who she's become. This is Colleen Ballinger in a nutshell. She's a douchebag, and you need to stop platforming her. She needs to go away. If she was truly sorry for what she did, just go away, Colleen. You've made your millions. You've still got tons of money. Sell your giant mansion. Go live in the hills. Okay, nobody likes you anymore. Like, nobody. This is like not even Raven and what's-her-face, Miranda there. They don't like you either. Like, that was a choice for the show, but they don't like you. Okay? And the background. You suck. And nobody likes you. Hope this helps. Thanks for coming to Mid-TED Talk. Everybody take a deep breath. The internet is forever. And that's why you shouldn't post your kids on here, everybody. Because you never know what they're going to do or say. That's going to be held against them in 10 years. Alex Doherty right now currently is going through something big. And I think it's going to come out very soon. Even if he didn't go through something big. There's like messages surfing. Like, this kid has been... That's grooming. He was groomed to be a rage baiter on the internet. And that's who he became. Don't put your kids on the internet, everybody. They might live to regret it, and they didn't have a choice. Colleen Ballinger is a perfect example that the internet is forever. All right? Thanks for being here, guys. I appreciate you. Hope you have a swell day. Hope your Monday's going well. Winter's fast approaching. Hope your Christmas tree is up. If it's not, what are you waiting for? Let's get it done. I'm putting mine up soon, too. I'm just waiting for the magical moment. I'm very excited about it. My 40-foot Santa is out in the front, and people are driving by, going slow. They're like, it's huge. And the cars are like, the kids are getting off the bus. I went out to pick my kids off the bus, and like, you could hear the bus when the doors open, like, wow, the kids screaming. That's why I do it. Christmas, man. Christmas for the kids and me. Young and her, and you. Anybody who loves Christmas, you're friends with me. We're friends. Okay? Overdo Christmas. Do it. I promise you, it's worth it. And it's nobody. It's not. You're not Disney adulting, being weird. Overdo Christmas, always. Okay? You're amazing, incredible, valuable. Forget it. Some kind of something. I think you're swell, and I'll see you when I see you.